winners are going to win a $5 Amazon digital card. So it was great to see how many of y'all are addicted, because you're going to be able to enjoy this for yourselves. And the top 3 winners are going to receive a $5 Amazon digital card to use. So in order to get us started, please go ahead and click on the joinmyquiz.com link, which is hyperlinked right here. And then once you're in there, it's going to prompt you to enter the following code, which is also in the screen in front of you, of 880575. So I'll give you just a couple.
Put it in the chat. Here, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, I see Marty. Thank you for joining us, Marty.
Marty, I'm putting the slides in the chat for you so you can get them.
Oh. Okay, we've got 6 participants who have been able to go to joinmyquiz.com with the game code. I would say maybe 30 seconds or more. Hopefully we can all get started so we can activate our thinking. Not a problem. I'm adding the link here in the chat just in case. It's called joinmyquiz.com. And the game code again is 880575. Okay, we have 13 participants who have logged into joinmyquiz.com. 14. What do you think, Susan? We have 20 people in our session right now. Give it a little bit more time. I want to make sure we give everyone a chance.
Yeah, let's give everybody a chance. Another minute or so, a couple seconds, and then we'll keep going.
Okay, we're almost there. 2 more people.
Almost got everybody. Everybody joined.
Okay. All right, should I, oh, there we go. All right, last call before I hit the start button. Okay, let's go. Okay, what percentage of MCPS students are currently newcomers?
The answer is
Okay, we're down to our last second. Okay, and the answer is 8%.
8%.
Okay, great. Oh, some people were close. All right, let's go on to the next question.
What top 3 countries comprise our newcomers? What do you think?
Down to our last 5 seconds. Okay, who's the leader here? Oh, we had some flip-flops. Andrea, Gabriela, missed the third one. Yes, it is El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Okay. What top 3 languages of instruction comprise our newcomers? Down to our last 5 seconds. I know, I'm betting 100% here. What do you think, Susan?
I think maybe.
Oh, Andrea, Gabriela, Marty, closer to that Amazon card. Oh, it is, believe it or not, the language of instruction. I was just as surprised as you are that English was up there. So there we go. Okay, next question.
Which instructional level currently has the highest number of newcomers? What do we think?
Down to our last 5 seconds. Oh, Gabriela took first place. Let's see what the answer is. Yep, believe it or not, I was just as shocked as you as well. It's at high school.
School. Yep.
Okay, and the final question.
Currently, 19% of our MCPS students are EMLs. What percentage of our current MCPS students have been identified as an ELD student at one point in time, otherwise known as ever ESOL?
Wow, Andrea, Gabriela, and Marty, top 3 spots, 34%. That was shocking to me as well, that we have that high of a number that has ever been in the ELD program. So thank you again for humoring us. We hope that there were some aha moments from these questions. And again, the intent was to kind of give us an idea of what kind of resources you folks are going to find in the Canvas Resource Hub. Okay. And we have our top 3 winners here. It would be very helpful if you all could type in your first and last name so that we make sure that you get your $5 Amazon digital card sent to you via Outlook. Okay, so congrats to the 3 of you.
Well done.
Okay. So before we move on to the next one, right now what you're going to see is just a very quick snapshot of what you're going to learn and explore and find in the Canvas Resource Hub. And you will notice as we take you through this very brief video, it provides a snapshot of the 6 main sections that comprise the Canvas Resource Hub.
Ooh, we lost our volume, Cindy. Cindy, you're muted.
I'm from the Eastern Sea Islands of South Carolina, and I am from the Gullah Geechee people.
أنا متعود كإثيوبيانو.
متولدة تهران إيران.
Soy de Chile.
Eu sou do Brasil e também da Etiópia.
I am from Iraq, and my first language is Arabic. My second language is English. Third is French, and fourth is Polish.
I'm from Liberia.
Soy de El Salvador.
Soy de Puerto Rico. Soy de Colombia.
I am MCPS.
So in a nutshell, the beauty and the diversity of MCPS, we are all MCPS.
Okay, so now we're going to take you through, we're just going to give you a quick overview of each of the sections that comprise the Canvas Resource Hub and tell you just a little tiny bit about them, and then we're going to set you loose and let you explore it on your own. But the first section is the international community, and it gives you an overview of the international community we have here in Montgomery County. And you're going to learn who our students are and how we can welcome and support them. It's good. You'll learn a little bit about where they come from, some of the languages they speak, what are their hopes and dreams. And we have some awesome video that you can watch that really speak directly to students' experiences. How can we celebrate multilingualism? If you need information out of Synergy and Performance Matters, we're going to tell you how to do that, because that we all know that can get a little complicated. We have information on what all the terms and acronyms mean, what opportunities are available for our newcomers, and how in Maryland's Blueprint for Education, our newcomers are directly called out, and what they need to do to be successful. So all that is very good. That's the first section. The next one is the International Admissions and Enrollment Office, and what happens when students and families actually walk in to IAE, as we call it. And sometimes people think that's a big mystery because a lot happens there. So we have a whole process flow chart in there that you can look at that will give you a really good guide as to the whole process and how it works. Also, how to welcome and support our students. Welcoming them is so important, and sometimes I think we don't fully realize all the power and impact we have when they walk in to our buildings. How do we guide students to graduate in 4 years? What are grading systems? What do they look like in other countries? Who's who at IE? Who do you call when you need something? How are our METs, our SLIFE students, how are they identified, and how can we support them? And best practices for orientation. And there are actually guides for families that are in multiple languages that you can just immediately send a link or print, whatever your preference is for that. The next section is welcome to school. And this is really about what happens when they walk into our buildings. What do you do if you don't speak the student's language? How are you going to communicate with them? A lot of resources for counselors, so that they know who to call and what to do. What does the registrar need to know? Very important, because they have a lot of power, especially in secondary. So what kind of information do they need? And there's a lot of tips for them. There are orientation and peer-to-peer. There's a slideshow in there. There's orientation guides for our students and for our families, again, in multiple languages that you can access, different orientation activities you can use, all made and done for you. And again, our best practices for welcoming them. So this is an excellent section for schools.
Okay, now we go to the fourth section, which is about welcoming to the community. You know, how do we as a district support our international communities? And this highlights all the community partnerships that we have to support the newcomer community. It gives you a list of extracurricular activities to engage our students so they feel a part of the school community. And it also offers a wealth of knowledge in respect to what are the supports that we can provide to support our students' well-being through the counseling office, through oh gosh, why am I forgetting that name? The transitional counselors as well.
ETC.
Thank
Mhm.
you for all their levels. And it really hones in on what each partnership is, what services it provides, and for what purpose. You'll notice that in one of the sections, one of the partnerships that they really dive into is the identity partnership, the partnership that we have with Casa de Maryland, and the linkages to learning. You also get an opportunity to learn about the Bienvenidos initiative and what it can do for your students and families. And above all, like we had talked about before, thank you, Susan, for helping remember the ETCs, which are now, they're still the transition counselors, but they have an additional component where they're also referred to as the therapeutic counselors, and what their role is in partnership with the counseling departments to support our newcomers. The second to last section is an area where you have professional learning opportunities and resources. It kind of gives you an idea of how to familiarize yourself about the school teams in respect to international students, what credit courses are there, what asynchronous learning opportunities are there, and what workshops there are. So anytime something appears on PDO or anything sometimes appears on the English Learner portal or the WIDA portal, we update it and we put it in here for the main purpose to streamline all those asynchronous learning opportunities and all the in-person and virtual learning opportunities so that you have them in one location and you can dive into them when you're looking to continue to develop your craft and supporting our EMLs and teaching our EMLs. Okay, and then we have, several other resources that most likely could fall into all the different sections, but we went ahead and highlighted it into just one module where it covers what additional information is there. So it provides an ELD program overview for families and caregivers. Here you also see several videos from students to better understand what the international student story is. You also get additional links to websites or links to slide decks that gives information for the staff about our international students. And as you have probably heard repeatedly throughout each section, there's also highlighted the best practices for our international students. The final touches that we want to point out is, again, is those who are those international admissions and enrollment contacts. So there is a link to where you can meet the team, and it kind of gives you the breakdown of what their role is and why you would reach out to them. We also, because there's so much information in one location, we also devised a course index that is broken down by themes to guide you to what page you should go to and what section in that page you should go to. And last but not least, we want to ensure that this Canvas Resource Hub is really beneficial to you and that it is user-friendly and accessible. So we're always welcoming feedback of what additional information that we can provide and how we can further streamline it so that it's easier to locate the information that you're looking for. And that is another feature of the homepage where we are seeking out your course feedback. When you are going to have an opportunity to sign up to this course through PDO, bless you, Susan, you will notice that this will be your welcoming page. And so to get you started, we're going to go ahead and walk you through the process. If you're not already signed up to the PDO course, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to visit the PDO link. And once you're in there, you're going to go to the top right-hand corner and type in your course, this course number of 91042 in that search bar. And then once you do that, you will notice that the course itself of Welcoming International Students is populated. As soon as you register, you will then have access to the Canvas course. So we're going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. I would say, what do you think, Susan? One or 2 minutes?
1 or 2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you like 1 minute and then let us know if you need any more time.
Okay, so that we can break you out into, put you into breakout rooms and get ready for a scavenger hunt to do independently and collectively with your peers.
So everybody go ahead and log into PDO. Can you give us a thumbs up if you're in, so we know if we need more time or not, please? Thank you, Marty. Megan, Andrea.
Okay,
Mark,
Mark is there. Mhm.
yeah. My PDO is spinning and spinning. Oh, no.
Okay, Miss Jones is there.
Nicholas is in. Gabriella, Alexis.
JD, we're getting there.
Sorry, did you say section 1?
Yes, section 1. Or does it matter, Cindy?
Doesn't matter, whatever's easiest.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, you want us to kind of get us started, kind of what will multitask like great educators do, and go ahead and kind of walk us through the scavenger hunt.
Okay, yes, if you'll go to the next slide, Cindy, there we go. So I think Cindy's gonna open what, 5 rooms?
Yep, I'll open 5 rooms.
So if you'll click on the scavenger hunt questions, there's a link there, which is going to give you your questions. So if you'll go ahead and open that document, and then kind of, skim it and see which questions are most relevant that you think you want to focus on. And then go into the breakout rooms, and Cindy's created 5 rooms. So go ahead and pick a room, any room, they're all random. We've got a maximum of 5 people per room. So go ahead and pick your room. And then once you get into your groups, look over your questions, and each group should pick 2 to 3 questions, because there's 20 some questions. You clearly aren't going to have time to do them all. So pick 2 to 3, and we are going to give you a document that has all the answers on it that you can use as a resource later. So go ahead and pick the 2 to 3 questions you will focus on, and then once you answer those questions, choose one reflection question. How can you use this resource in your role or at your school? So think about it both ways. And then go ahead and prepare to share out.
So just to put it out there, we initially had allotted 10 minutes for this. But I think what's really important is the time that you spend in there talking to your colleagues, looking at the questions to see which ones really are beneficial and you need kind of to be able to answer right now, to familiarize yourself with the sections, be comfortable with it. So we're just going to break it down to 5 minutes because we don't have much time left. And we really want to hear from you and your reflection of how this resource can really benefit your role and how you can be using it at your school. So I'm going to go ahead and open the breakout rooms right now. And please sign yourselves up. Okay, we got 1 person in room 1. All right. I can see a school's already going to room 4. And again, if you're having difficulty going to a room, just let us know and we'll be more than happy to assign you to one.
Do you think, Jessica, do you want us to send you to a room?
It's possible Jessica has like the voice on one phone, you know what I mean? Like doing the dual screen, who knows?
When did we run over?
Probably through the explanations. You did a phenomenal job going through the 3 sections that you had.
You think it was there, or do you think it was a community builder?
I think it was a little of everything. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Right, should I go pop in and see how we're doing?
Yeah, give them a couple minutes because those are a lot of questions to kind of sort through.
Yeah.
So I maybe pop in a minute or so.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, bring them back. And when it says 10:10, bring them back because I'll close the room, but it gives them a minute to kind of close things up.
Yeah.
It's 10:06 right now.
And what time are we done?
Supposed to be done at 10:15.
And the next one starts at
10:30.
10:30. I should have put that.
So closing rooms at 10:11.
Yeah. We
Which-
need to remember to record the next one. I remembered, but we were
What?
already started.
It was recording. What happened?
I didn't start it until. I mean, we weren't too far in, but we were already started.
Okay.
We just need to remember.
Okay. They're closing rooms at 10:11.
I wrote down the names of our gift card people.
Oh, I took a picture. So awesome. Thank you. Okay, does this make sense? We are closing rooms at 10:10 and you will have until 10:11 to close out your conversation.
There we go. Yep.
That gives you a minute. So here, I think, I'm trying to remember, is this me? The reflective share out? I forgot.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna say that, more than welcome to unmute and share your reflection or type it into the chat.
Yep.
I do think the game took a lot longer than anticipated. So I think we lost time there.
Okay. How long did we think it was going to take?
Hold on, let me see. 5 minutes, and I think it took longer.
I think everything took a little longer.
Mhm.
I think we can catch up at the community builder.
Okay.
Just not as much chit chat.
Mhm. So a last email that I don't remember, I think it was Andrea who sent it, said we had 29 participants. So we
Right.
have 19 right now. So if that continues, we'll have 10 at the next session.
Do you have allergies? Are you sick?
No, I have a cold.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Mhm.
Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia, how are you?
Can't hear you, Cynthia. Unmute.
Hey,
Hi.
yeah, I'm just gonna join another breakout room because I was in a group where we had like 6 people.
It's all
Oh.
good. We're about to close out. I think we were having too much fun with our activate thinking. And
Yeah,
our
it was a little fast this
Yeah.
round.
We got to fix our timing.
Hi, I was looking at the online stuff and I was looking for the home language survey under the reports, and I don't think we have that tab.
Teachers? Really?
Yeah. Because it says go to reports and then student programs. I don't have that as an option.
Ooh.
That's very interesting. Okay. And you're a teacher, correct?
Yes, I teach kindergarten.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so no access to the home language survey tab, correct?
Right. Anything that said that you have to go through student programs to get to, we do not have a student programs option under the reports tab.
Okay. Okay, Andrea, I went ahead and took your name down. We're going to go ahead and touch base with our contact in Synergy who created all these guides to find out what's going on, to see if we missed a step, and then we'll go ahead and follow up with you.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure.
This is good troubleshooting.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Everyone will be joining us very shortly. Everyone should be back with us. Okay, perfect. All right. So again, we completely recognize that was definitely not enough time to sort through that wealth of information and become familiar with your 6 sections. We hope that within your group, you were able to at least pinpoint one section that you know you're going to want to dive into, because you notice it has lots of resources that you could use in your role and also to inform your staff at the school. But we really like to hear from you a very quick reflection. How can you use this resource hub in your role, or how can you use this resource hub at your school? Please feel free to share your answer to one of those questions by either unmuting or go ahead and putting it in the chat. Susan, as we're waiting for people to kind of pop in their answers, how have you used it with your staff development teachers?
I've used it a lot, actually, and we were just talking with someone about the home language survey, and I know there was one school I was working with, and the ESOL teacher was trying to find the home language survey and Synergy, and I wasn't sure, so I went in there and I looked at our resource, and I'm like, oh, well, this is where it is, and this is how you use it. So because sometimes for me, because we're not actually in a school, I'm not totally sure how to find it, but when I went in there, I did find it there. So you know, it has the other thing that I think is really, really nice about it is there's a guide, an orientation guide to school for families, and it is in about 6 or 7 different languages, and it's beautifully done. So there really is a lot of things. The other thing I like is there's a lot of video of students talking about their experiences. Yep. Which is also very nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the support that I give to our staff development teachers, it's a great resource to identify some best practices to inform their planning and their instruction. A lot of the staff development teachers have also found it as a point of entry to get documents and resources they need to kind of include in their professional learning with their staff and also their leadership team. So that's how we've used it in our role as learning achievement specialists.
I think it's be a huge time saver because we spend a lot of time looking for all that stuff.
I know.
All over the internet. And in fact, it's come up now at least 5 different times. The number one thing our parents are asking for since we're back from pandemic is to bring back international night. And at international night, we try to provide a lot of resources, and there's stuff in there that I definitely will be able to include.
Oh, that's wonderful. And that's really what you just said is what prompted us to do this, because we recognize that.
Yeah.
So on this slide 18, if you click, it's linked to the answers or the place where you can find the answers to all those questions directly to the link where they go. So hopefully you'll find that helpful.
Yeah. And if you had already clicked it and it said restricted or you weren't able to access it, you should be able to refresh it and see it again.
And I guess too, we have someone that couldn't find something. So if you find glitches, please email us and let us know, because you're the user testers at this point. So please let us know if you find anything.
Okay. So as we close out, two things, if you can bear with us, what are 3 words to capture your key takeaways from today's walkthrough of the International Students Canvas Resource Hub. If you can just select where it says click here to answer, and then your answers will populate into a synthesized word bubble to see where you guys are at in regards to your key takeaways from today's walkthrough. And then Susan, while we're doing that, if you could please drop in the evaluation link into the chat for them to take care of as well.
We will do that right now. There's the link to the evaluation.
Well, look, we're already seeing some words popping up.
Lovely.
Resources seem to be the common theme. Helpful. The bigger the word, the more it's being used. So that's really good to hear, because that was definitely our intent, and it's nice to hear that it's having that impact.
Ms. Jones, I think you need to use the link to the slides that we put in the chat. Is that what you were trying to click on?
Got it. I will go do that. Hold on 1 second.
About that.
Sometimes we love technology and sometimes not so much.
I'm going to put the slide link back in again.
Okay, so we're definitely over time, Susan.
Okay.
Overall, I think the biggest key takeaways are that it's helpful, it's welcoming, there's resources, and it's a great support. Those are our biggest words. So those words have pretty much been used repeatedly among our participants. So we're glad to hear, because that definitely was our intent when creating this resource. And we want to thank you for your time and your patience as we do this for the first time with you all, and also kind of work through some of the technical glitches that we had to deal with first off. And please, above all, we really appreciate you completing the PLCamp participant survey that's linked to the slide deck, and Susan also dropped it in the chat. And as you navigate through this resource, please give us your feedback, because we create this resource as a one-stop shop to have easy access for all staff members, so that they feel well-versed, feel comfortable, and they know they have a go-to to get information that they need to welcome our newcomers and inform their planning and instruction and engagement in schools. Okay.
That is all for us. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of your professional development day.
Your next session. Take care.
Thank you.
Cindy, I sent you a message in the chat. I taught you at Little Holy Cross. I'm Miss Rogers.
Yeah. Thank
Oh
you.
Oh my God. Sorry, I was very focused. Who knew that we
Yeah.
class, right?
That's when I saw your name. I'm like, that's gotta be Cindy. I know. That's
We
gotta
won't
be her.
even get into the stories of what I was like in elementary school, because Susan will just snicker. But what
Well,
else?
I was like all of 9 years older than you at the time, I think, because I taught you, I did 5th grade only my first year out of college, and then I had 5, 6, 7, 8 reading. Language arts at Holy Cross, my second year.
You know that your approach to assessment preparation is the first time that I think I started wanting to be a teacher, because you just made it so fun and engaging with all the Jeopardy games.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yes. And I think I fell in love with social studies because you were so good at it. So yeah.
Thank you for that. How's Chrissy Ann?
Chrissy Ann's great.
Great.
She is, she's actually a teacher. Never thought that would happen to the both of us, but here we are. And she's at Poolsville High School.
Oh, awesome. I'm down at Arcola. How are your parents? Good, I hope.
They're great. I
Awesome.
keep forgetting that they're as old as they are, because they're definitely aging very well, and sometimes have more energy than their own kids do. So
I can see that. We'll give everybody my best, please.
I cannot wait to tell the story. It was great seeing you, Miss Rogers. Always Miss Rogers, regardless.
Oh, it's been a long time, but thank you. Take
Right.
care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Deborah, we do not have attendance link. Thank you for asking, but nope, we weren't given that.
Thank you, guys. This was great.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Appreciate- So we'll let our next bunch in at 10:25.
Yes.
Does that work?
Should stop recording for the moment. Applies to you. And the first one is. You sponsor an after-school program or activity. How many of you are doing that these days? No CARES tutors here? Okay.
I don't know, does tutoring my daughter count?
There you go.
Because it's definitely like a full-time job. Okay.
Okay. Oh, good. And Vera does as well. Yes. A lot of us do that. You are addicted to ordering off Amazon. That's definitely us.
Okay,
Too
I have
much
two
stuff
hands.
flying in here.
I have two hands for that.
Yes. Definitely applies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one. You traveled this summer. Did anybody go somewhere cool? I know Cindy did. Ooh. And where did anybody want to share where they went?
Okay. Well, I hope it was somewhere fun because I think according to our last group, it was very much needed after last year's very interesting and unique school year. So
Oh,
hopefully.
in Maine. I went to Maine this summer too. Very fun.
Oh, nice. Here it's beautiful up there.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
You are a new staff member this school year. Do we have any newbies? New to MCPS? New to a building? Not in this crowd? Okay. Next one. You have worked in education 10 years or more. That's me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oldies but goodies here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Margaret and Beth.
Yes, definitely for hanging in there and thriving and moving forward without a doubt. Past
Wow.
couple 2 years have made that a challenge.
Oh, 8th year in the county. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Wow. Okay, you've taught in a different state. Who's taught in a different state? I have not. Only
Not
Maryland.
gonna lie.
No.
Virginia, okay.
Okay, there we go. All right. You went to a music concert or a play this year?
I mean, Elton John, I have to say it,
Right,
it's
Cindy's
his
gotta brag
farewell
about this.
tour, right?
Yeah.
It was an
Yeah.
amazing performance. Definitely Elton John.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for building some community with This Is Us, because that's me and this is us. And so now we're going to talk about what we're going to do during our time together here.
Great. Okay, so with any presentation, any workshop or professional learning, it's really important that we talk about the purpose of why we're coming together. And our purpose for today's session is to build the awareness about the MCPS international community. You will be shocked of how big it actually has become and how to use this awareness and wealth of information to support all our stakeholders. As we walk you through this Canvas Resource Hub, you'll notice that it is a perfect entry point for any role in the school, whether it's a counselor, a teacher, a paraeducator, an administrator, and also to support our students and our caregivers. Okay, the Canvas Resource Hub, as we go through this process, you're going to experience a walkthrough of the content and the resources that are available, and you will kind of recognize as you experience this walkthrough, the opportunity to explore how you can use this information in your role and at your school. Again, you will notice that it is a one-stop shop.
Okay, and so what we're going to do today, as Cindy said, is we are going to become familiar with this Canvas Resource Hub. And the why of that is that we heard a lot from people who needed resources and really didn't know where to go to find them. So the goal is to try and put everything in one central place that can be continued and developed, but that it's one-stop shop for folks, for all things newcomers, international community, students, et cetera. That's the goal of this Canvas Resource Hub.
Okay. So to get us started, to just get a taste of what type of information we're going to see as we do the walkthrough, we're going to activate your thinking. And this is a perfect opportunity to answer the question, what do we know about our international students and MCPS? You're going to test your knowledge in a fun, interactive way using this platform called quizzes. And yes, believe it or not, the top 3 winners are going to win a $5 Amazon digital card that's going to be sent out to your Outlook. So to get us started, please click on the link that says joinmyquiz.com. And once you're there, please enter the code 840119. We're also going to put it into the chat for you to access it if that's a better way to get into the platform.
I just put the code in the chat and the link is on the slide.
I make sure that we're on that game. Please let us know if we can help you get into the game. Okay. Thank you, Margaret, for joining us. There we go.
Liz, Jennifer.
Yep. We have 8 participating in today's session. We have 3, maybe a minute or so for those of you who still want to join us, and then we'll get started. And for those 3 who have already registered, they may want to encourage no one else to register because then they'll be the top 3 winners and guarantee the Amazon card.
That's right.
Oh, sorry, we had 2 more people added.
Yeah. Still need 2 more.
Yep, 30 more seconds for our last 2. Ooh. Okay. All right, let's get started. Thank you very much. Let's see. What do we know about our international students and MCPS? So what percentage of MCPS students are currently newcomers? What do you all think? All right, let's see what the answer is. Everyone has answered with 13 seconds left. Okay, Liz, NRE, and Margaret are our leaders. And it is 8%. 8% of our students are newcomers. And our newcomers are defined as students who have enrolled in MCPS within the past 2 years. When we think about newcomers, sometimes we may think that it's just our level 1s or our level 2s, but in fact, ELP proficiency level does not reference this. Our newcomers are any student who's arrived in the United States and enrolled in MCPS within the past 2 years. Next question. What top 3 countries comprise our newcomers? What are we thinking? You guys are good. We don't need those full 20 seconds. All right, let's see what our answers are. Ooh. We had some people take out the last of the 3. The winner is, the answer, excuse me, is El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala. Okay, what top 3 languages of instruction is the key word comprise our newcomers? Wow, we keep going back and forth. Yes, it's incredible, but yes, English was up there. That was a shock to me when we were doing our research that that was one of the top 3 languages of instruction. Okay, second to last question. Okay, which instructional level currently has the highest number of newcomers? Is it elementary, is it middle, or is it high? Okay. There we go. All right. The top three are holding strong. The answer is high school, not elementary. Yes, that was a shock to us as well. One of our colleagues who is an instructional specialist at the International Admissions, IAE, actually shared a presentation with the secondary leaders, sharing that surprisingly, our biggest percentage was high school and then elementary, and middle was third. And the final question. So currently 19% of our MCPS students are EMLs. What percentage of our current MCPS students have been identified as an ELD student at one point in time? In other words, ever ESOL. Let's see if how did we do here? Did anyone get knocked off? Nope, Liz and Ari and Becca held strong.
Yep.
Yep, 34%, which for me was pretty shocking because I didn't expect the number to be high, that 34% of our current students in MCPS have been in ELD at one time or another. And I thought that was pretty crazy and really informs our, how we engage and plan and teach this population. Okay, so for those 3 winners, let's see who they are. Got to see you on the podium with streamers and fireworks. Okay, Becca in third, and Ari in second, and Liz in first. Much congrats. If you can please drop in your first and last name into the chat so that we can go ahead and send the digital Amazon $5 gift card to your Outlook. Much congrats. Okay, so as we continue within our session, we wanted to give you a very quick snapshot of the different sections and how it's formatted, how the Canvas course page is formatted. And we thought we'd do it with an engaging video. Whoops. So again,
Soy de Guatemala, hablo español y yo soy MCPS.
Yo soy de Brasil, falo português e eu sou de MCPS.
我是 MCPS 的一名工作人员，我的母语是中文。
I'm from the Eastern Sea Islands of South Carolina, and I am from the Gullah Geechee people.
Я язык Украины, я говорю украинскую, я MCPS.
أنا متعود كإثيوبيانو. Soy de Chile.
Eu sou do Brasil e também da Etiópia. I am from Iraq, and my first language is Arabic, my second language is English, third is French, and fourth is Polish. I'm from Liberia. Soy de El Salvador.
Soy de Puerto Rico.
Soy de Colombia.
I am MCPS.
So the biggest takeaway for me there was the beauty of the diversity that is MCPS and how we are all MCPS. Susan.
So, and now I'm going to take you through just a quick overview of each section, and then we're going to let you explore on your own. So it's made up of how many six sections, I think, Cindy?
Correct.
But the first one is the international community. And this is really just an overview, again, who our students are and how we as educators and advocates can welcome and support our students and their families and caregivers. You'll learn a little bit about where they come from, the languages they speak. What are their hopes and dreams? What do they want? And you can hear, there's some awesome video where you can hear really directly from the students themselves speaking and telling their stories. How can we celebrate multilingualism? How can you use synergy and performance matters to find out more about your students? And that can be tricky. So there's a lot in there about that. All the terms and acronyms and what do they mean? And you'll have some good, we have a big sheet about that. And all the opportunities for our newcomers, especially once you get into secondary, there's even more opportunities for them. And Maryland's Blueprint for Education, and they outline expectations for our English language learners, so you can read about that as well. And the next section is the International Admissions and Enrollment Office. And this is often a big mystery to everyone. What happens at IAE? So there's a big process map, and it really goes through in a lot of detail what happens to students and families when they enroll, and all the things that they have to do and the paperwork they have to have, et cetera. So you can find out about that. There are things about how we can, how at IE, how they welcome students and support them, and also what we can do. And how do we guide students to graduate in 4 years? That's very important. Whether you're a second language learner or not, we only want to be, you know, everyone wants to graduate in 4 years. And what do grading systems look like in other countries? So you can find out a little bit about that. What happens to our METs or SLIFE students when they enroll? How are they identified, and what kinds of supports do we have in place for them? And what are best practices for orienting our families? And there are guides that are in multiple languages that you can use, and you can just, they're ready to go. They're ready to roll. And the third section is Welcome to School. And again, this is the idea that when our international students and their families walk through your door of, you know, what do you need and what are you supposed to do? Some schools are definitely more familiar with this than others. You know, what do you do if you don't speak their language? How do you get a hold of the language line? That's in there. How can counselors support? And what kind of counselors are out there counseling support for them? What does the registrar need to know? Very important that they know what they're doing. There are guides to schools for families, and they are in 6 or 7 different languages. And again, ready to go. You can send the link or print, and they're there. As well as orientation and peer-to-peer suggestions for how to, everything that a family might need, if they need access to food, healthcare, logistical things, all kinds of things that they might need within the community is also there, as well as instructional guides. So, you know, when I need to know what do they need instructionally, those guides and things are in there. There are sample orientation activities, again, that you can just take with you, best practices, all ready for you right there. And Cindy, welcome to the community.
Yep, this is our 4th section. A very quick overview that it answers the question, you know, how does MCPS community support our international newcomers? The highlights of that section is it provides you with information about community partners that can help you support your newcomer community. It also includes a list of sports and extracurricular activities that newcomers can participate in and find out how to access these sports and extracurricular activities and give that information in many languages. It also identifies what organizations will partner with schools in supporting students and families. You'll also notice that a list of partnerships will be highlighted and also take you directly to their websites to provide additional connections. Some of those partnerships are Identity, Casa de Maryland, and Linkages to Learning. Something that also is new this year, Susan, and definitely please feel free to add on, Susan, is the Bienvenidos initiative. What is that and what it can do for students and families? Can you tell them a little bit about the Bienvenidos initiative, Susan?
It is Bienvenidos is because we've had such a high influx of international students into our community. The Bienvenidos initiative was formed with the County Council and MCPS and Department of Health and Human Services as a collaborative effort to support our newcomers. And part of this, what you're seeing right now, what we're doing, and this site is also a result of that, the recognition of the need to support more extensively. And there's all kinds of other things in the Bienvenidos initiative as well. It links to legal services, all kinds of things that you can access. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Susan. And last but not least, it does provide, it's a great entry point for your counseling department. You know, what are the supports, what are the guides and the best practices that they can use to support our newcomers? And there's even some information to learn a little bit about the county's ETCs, which are transition counselors, that also have been added with the name of therapeutic counselors as well, and how they can partner with the schools to support the emotional well-being of our students. Okay, then the second to last section is the professional learning opportunities and resources, which is more of like an archive of asynchronous courses, synchronous courses, virtual courses, a publication of any online, in-person courses that are available for you to familiarize yourself and school teams about international students. You will notice that there is information about PDO courses that are available. There's information about the English language portal, which provides that asynchronous and synchronous opportunity to kind of really hone in on EML instruction and supports. And you'll notice that these resources are continually updated. Anytime that we find out about a course, whether it's the English Learner portal that's updating their resources or the WIDA portal that's updating their resources, we're constantly updating them as well so that you have that information to be able to participate in those courses at your convenience. The last section is more resources. And again, it's just highlighting what additional information is available. It's a list of a variety of resources about international students and newcomers that you can access at any time. And these highlight the major themes. The themes is that you'll find toolboxes that provide an overview for families and caregivers. You will notice an array of videos, documents, and slide presentations that discuss the international student story. Again, you will have international student information for staff. And last but not least, that you will have heard across all sections, it's again, really spotlighting best practices for international students and finding that information in one location. But of course, we can't forget the final touches. We know that sometimes the IAE office is a mystery. So you may want to know who to contact and why do you want to contact? What is their role? In the homepage of the course, there will be a button that takes you to the IE contacts. It gives you a directory. We also, because this is such a wealth of information and there's so many sections that are in front of you and you may not know where do I start, we created, per people's feedback, we created a course index so that pretty much organizes all the information according to themes. And once you've selected a theme that applies to you, it identifies who could access, who it would be a good entry point for, what page would you find that information, and what section within that page. Again, the intent for the index was to further streamline this abundant resource hub. And of course, we're always looking for feedback because we want the intent to match the impact. So it's very important that this resource is a one-stop shop but it's accessible and user-friendly. So if something pops up where we can better organize it, or maybe there's a missing piece of information that you think would be invaluable to add to the course, let us know through the course feedback. We're about to go through the process of being able to register for this course. And once you register for this course, you'll know in the right place because this is the homepage. Okay, so now it's your turn. Please visit PDO. And once you get to PDO, you want to go to the top right-hand corner and type in this course number that you see in front of you in the search bar. Once you go ahead and type in that course number and submit, the course will populate. Select any of the 3 sections to register. Any of those 3 sections will take you to the same course, with the same information in the same format that we have walked you through today.
And if you would indicate with your thumbs up if you're in PDO, and then we're going to take you through a scavenger hunt of the resource or the hub.
Yep, definitely give you an opportunity. We're going to put you into breakout rooms and you'll have an opportunity to work independently or discuss amongst each other some of the resources that would be useful for the work that you do and that you could pass on to your staff as well, to your colleagues as well, excuse me. Thank you, Margaret, for letting us know that you're ready to go.
2 breakout rooms, Cindy, you think?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, Margaret's in. Well, everybody's getting in. I'll give you we'll put a slide up with the directions, but I'll tell you what you're going to do. We're going to give you a link to some questions, your hunt, and you can take a minute and glance at them and scan them and see which ones are most relevant to you. And then Cindy's going to open up the breakout rooms and you're going to go in and, I guess we'll have 2 rooms. So try to split yourselves up between them. It looks like everybody's getting in. And then in your group, you're going to pick 2 or 3 questions to focus on and answer. And keep in mind that at the end, we will give you a link to all of where you can find all the answers to all these questions, because there's about 20 some questions on there. So clearly you won't be able to have time to answer them all, but just look at a few. And then I think we're going to give you 10 minutes. We have time for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we're moving and grooving.
Yeah.
Definitely 10 minutes.
Last time we got a little behind. So you'll have about 10 minutes. You can answer your questions and then pick one that one reflection question. How can you use this resource in your role, or how can you use this resource at your school? And then we'll share out together. So.
Okay. Are there any questions before I open the breakout rooms? Okay. Did I use good wait time, Susan?
I think you're good.
Okay. All right. We're going to open the rooms. Please pick one of 2 rooms with the goal that we have about 3 to 4 people per room. Thank you for joining the room.
There we go.
Ladies, how do we see the scavenger hunt questions?
Click on the link on the slide.
It says scavenger hunt questions.
It's in dark blue. If you look at slide 16, that's where
that does not open it for me. I don't know if other people.
That's okay. We'll drop it in.
Put it in the chat.
Susan, you drop it in, or you want me to drop it in?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. And when you get a chance, I think room 2 is waiting for you.
Must have lost somebody, right?
No, we're good.
Good. Okay. Okay.
I don't know why that went smoother, but if I feel better.
We kind of rolled right. I think it's fewer people. I'm surprised how many people keep their cameras off in this small of a group.
Whatever. I don't care.
I know. It surprises me.
No, I think it was just all the technical glitches and trying to like pivot from that so
Right.
quick.
That
know,
kind of fluster.
I also do think that we went much quicker, like you said, through the community builder. And the game, I think in the future, when it's 5, like I'm thinking for like future stuff,
Right.
like when it's 5 questions, it's definitely not 5 minutes. It's like 10 minutes tops,
Right, right.
you know?
All right, so it is 11:01.
I'm gonna stop them at 11.
10.
Okay,
Wow. Well,
So-
no, probably you're right, because,
because we were rushed before. So
but we still have to finish up and we're done at 10, at
we
11:50.
will close the rooms at 11:09.
Okay.
Or you want to do 11:08?
I can do 11:08. It'd be nice to kind of hear, especially if anybody finds glitches like they
So we will
did.
close the rooms at 11:08. And you will have until 11:09 to close out your conversations. You know, I'm gonna, we did everything before within 3 minutes. We were only 2 minutes past the time. So I'm gonna give them till 11:09 to close out and 11:10 to come back.
All right.
We should be fine. So we will close the rooms at 11:09 and you will have until 11:10 to close out your conversations. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Mhm, mhm.
All right.
Do you feel bad?
I was this weekend. I was like, I'm not gonna fail, Susan. I'm gonna take Dayquil. I'll have to do whatever I can.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. You sound, other than that cough, you sound okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to, it's interesting. I get it, and then my body fights it. It must be all that time in schools, because usually people just completely fall apart or like are in bed, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't allow myself. It's unfortunate, but when I rest, then all of a sudden it hits me like a ton of bricks.
Really? You feel
I
like,
just I have to keep going and just kind of like work through it.
yeah.
So we just got about almost 30 more people registered for this course. That's good. Hopefully they'll still spread the word with the presentation.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I was talking to Brent on Friday and said, let's get a work group together to try to do something like this PLCamp thing, but call it the ELD PL Expo.
That's a good idea.
Where like the courses are content based. So these are the social studies sessions, these are the math sessions, highlighting teachers who have found success with their planning and instruction of EMLs, period.
Really good idea.
And so
Tracy Oliver Gary would be way into that.
I know, because the bottom line is like, every time I talk to Brent, there's always this resistance, right? Like, I don't get it. I want a toolbox. Okay, fine. Let's deliver the quote unquote toolbox, but let's deliver it through the method of professional learning by their peers, because they're not listening to what
No.
secondary is saying,
No.
and so, but this would be secondary. And I was like, and let's do it at a smaller scale so we can, learn from it. And
Right.
then had the brilliant idea of doing it in March, right after the window closes for WIDA as a kickoff. Okay, this is the first day till the next WIDA. We have
Right.
1 year to do blah, 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 blah. And I
That's-
just think it's a really inclusive, universal way of sharing the narrative instead of depending solely on our instructional leaders, our TCSs, to spread the word, because we know they're not doing that.
That's a good idea. What would be even better is if we could do it with elementary and it was everybody.
Yeah, we have to start small,
Yeah, no.
because even if we wanted to, let's say, what is it, give the olive branch or whatever the hell the expression is,
Send me on.
I'm not quite sure they'd be wanting to. And and when we tried to work together as a team, that's what kind of like immediately kind of set me off, was Daniel and Tamara just came swooping in breaking everything apart and saying, this doesn't work, let's change it this way. No collaboration at all, just consulting.
Yeah. She doesn't have Daniel anymore.
I know. Hence, she has more control over her people. That's why her people who barely know us, see us, and like, I don't know, I feel attention immediately.
Who left? Who left? Franny left her.
Oh yeah, she was not treated well.
What? Because what? She's too smart.
I don't know.
Mm.
I think she knows too much about ELD.
Right. That's what I mean. She's too smart.
Mhm.
Just same with Sandy.
Oh, West.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they got the Zoom fixed. That took some doing.
That did. Who knew? Who knows?
I wonder what they did, if they just took people out or what.
I don't know. But you have 2 minutes. The backup thing cost me because when you go to
Well,
like,
we were just talking about everybody and we recorded ourselves. Yeah,
you have to.
we got to clean it up.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I was like, no, we said that. It's a good thing no one's like sneaking around in the room. And then I thought, but we just taped ourselves. That's how politicians get in big trouble.
Did you press play again?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know that we didn't play until like right before the activate your thinking. It was still paused. I pressed play.
You press play. I went, okay, but that's still better than the first time, which it was after that, before
Okay.
I figured it out now. It's hard to remember.
It is. Okay, we have 1 minute before I close all the rooms.
I guess that's why when you do these big things, they have somebody else doing all that stuff.
Pretty much so. You
The
have to.
link, the recording, all
It's
that.
okay. I would just say, Chris, please send us the video so we can trim it.
So we can trim out our badness.
No, our what is it? Our sidebars that no one else wants to hear.
Because it would be good to be able to use this, I mean, or to share it.
Mhm. Well, that's the point, I think, for anyone else who didn't participate. I have to rush from here back to the office
Why?
because I'm doing one final walkthrough for Wednesday with the director.
Oh,
Mhm.
what do you mean?
Just to make sure that we're all on the same page for Wednesday's facilitation.
Yeah, that would, we have to still do that today.
Yeah, we did it on Friday until like 4:30 and then
Uh-huh.
we did it again. I'm not gonna lie, it's really nice to touch base,
Yeah.
directors.
Who's your director now? Is it Sean?
No, Jeannie,
Jeannie, that's right.
I think they should be joining us shortly. The breakout rooms are gonna close in 40 seconds, Miss Gordon.
Alrighty.
It really did feel so much better. Did we go too fast?
I hope not, because I think we were. I think it was just a smaller group. I don't know.
I just want to know, like, I always talk fast, regardless, right, Susan? Like whether it's facilitation or just conversation,
I
I
feel
always,
like I do too. I go too fast often, I think.
yeah. I'm like, how do I adjust my speed? Welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Okay, we all should be back. We hope that was a little bit more time. We know it wasn't ideal, but you are very fortunate you weren't the previous group, because the previous group, I think, had maybe 5 minutes. So you had a lot more, but hopefully within this time, you were able to figure out, this is the section I'm going to begin with. This is the section that I know I can really use right now in my role, or pass the information over to my colleagues or my leadership team. But we would like to ask you to reflect for a second and just share with us, whether it's through chat or unmuting, how would you use this Canvas Resource Hub in your role, or how would you use it at your school? So if anyone would be willing to share that with us in the chat or unmuting and saying it verbally, we're all ears.
Well, I'll say something because no one else is.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm looking at this and the role that I have, this really doesn't help me whatsoever. But I would definitely use it to share with colleagues.
Okay.
I teach pre-K,
Okay.
and so we already have like a family service worker that reaches out to all the families when they first come to the program. I already use Dojo, that obviously translates to like almost any language. I already provide resources and help for families when they arrive at open house. We already, the pre-K office really kind of is the springboard for them to help out, and we're checking in with families constantly.
Okay.
So we can share in any language. I use Language Line frequently. We also have like some multilingual staff members. So if needed, we can also tap into that. So I feel like I already kind of am like a little microcosm of this, like in the pre-K world. But I know that older grades don't always have all that of them. So I can see where like older grades could really use some of these resources.
Well, if there's anything additional that you think would be very specific to pre-K, that is a suggestion to add to our more resources, please, by all means, because we want to make sure that this is a hub for all grade levels from pre-K through 12. So if anything pops up that we can go ahead and do our own homework and make sure that we add it to this resource hub, it is a live resource hub. It gets updated often.
That's good.
I'd love to have it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have.
I'll say that I'm looking forward to like reading more. I was so focused on trying to get an answer to my question that I didn't really spend a lot of time. Like, I think I need to spend a lot of time reading, but I'm sure I am an ESOL teacher. I'm a singleton at Cashel. There are years we don't get any kids through the international office, and there's years we get one or two. But I always feel like I always am looking for more for them.
Yeah.
And I often, get them in touch with a counselor that speaks their language, and that's helpful. But maybe there are things in here that I can actually access and send links to them, or, things like that. So I need to read more.
Yeah, thank you, Beth. I think that one of the things that stood out for me that I shared with the staff development teachers is some of the videos and the slide decks that really hone in on what it means to be an international student. What is that experience like when you come to a new environment, a new dynamic and different set of expectations? And how can we use that information to inform the way that we engage our community and the way that we teach and plan for them? So that's through that lens. I have used it to kind of inform the staff development teachers as they do the professional learning with their staff. So definitely that. Okay, and thanks for Vera for sharing the information. Sorry, and I don't know which one's the first name, which one's the last name, but also sharing that the community partners info is helpful, as well as the health and wellness resources.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and change the settings. You want to talk about this, Susan, really quickly?
So we also put in, if that's on that slide, frequently asked questions is linked, and it's really the answers to all those questions that you just looked at with the links as to where you find the answers, because a lot of those questions we thought were particularly pertinent. So you can get that there. And
I just if you happen to have opened it and it said, ask for access, I just changed it. So just refresh it and you should be able to open it and see all the answers. Okay. So as we close out, it's really important to us that we not only get your feedback regarding today's session and the PLCamp, but also capture your key takeaways from today's walkthrough of the International Students Canvas Resource Hub. If you can please click here where it says click here to answer, and just capture 3 words that really sum up your takeaways from today's session. And you will notice that once we have all your answers, we will populate a synthesized word cloud.
And that's on slide 19.
Yep, and I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat if that will make it easier.
I didn't mean to mess you up by putting the evaluation in there a little soon.
It's all good, no worries. That's great. And you'll notice when a word gets bigger, if you're not familiar with Mentimeter, when the word gets bigger, that just means that a lot of people have pretty much used the same word as well. So, and we'll see a lot of similarities between your responses and our last session's responses about addressing families, support, and it being helpful. Okay. Oh, families, that's great. What was our bigger word last session? Do you remember, Susan?
Wasn't resources? I guess maybe
I
resources.
think it may have been resources, right? It was either between resources and helpful. It's interesting that this one is families, which is great because that was the intent, was to give everyone a different entry point into our version of an encyclopedia, I guess you could say. Okay, great. Okay, we leave you then with the evaluation form for your participation in the PLCamp. If you could just take a minute to fill it out, definitely always want your feedback because we want to make sure that these professional learning sessions are beneficial to you and are valuing your time. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that you have an additional resource, but in a one-stop shop with several invaluable pieces of information that you can use in your role or pass it along to your colleagues at school. We hope that you have a really good rest of your day and that the rain has stopped.
Yeah. Enjoy.
And no worries, we have your names. You will be getting your gift card before the end of the day.
Right.
We won't forget.
Our last group was really worried about their gift card. Bye.
Okay, I just took her out.
Hmm.
All right, do we stop? Stop the recording?
Yeah, let me stop the recording.